All right. Looks semi-good. Okay. Now I just need an actual link. Does that connect me? No. That's not what I want. Does that connect me? No. That's not what I want. Does that connect me? That's not what I want. No. That's not what I want. Does that connect me? That's not what I want. No. That's not what I want. Does that connect me? Okay, let's not record desktop audio. Okay. I told the guys it's time to go. We're not going to get the clicky-clack sounds, unfortunately. Because... Actually, no, it's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll do this and then just not listen to that. There we go. So just waiting on the game. We're going to see. My setup is not as fancy as Will's, but we're going to see if we can get an analysis setup going as well, if we want it. Okay. Pluto plays his classic 3 diagonal pieces. Archie leaves a little gap, daring white sort of to fill it in. It's pretty hard not to fill it in. Oh no, Pluto. Yeah. Okay. Archie, I think, was playing the d4, e5, f6 as well, but yeah, Pluto is the most prominent user of it. Okay, so Pluto decides to build this, so Black has momentum, 3 to 4, and White will need to answer. Which I'm guessing... Yeah, okay, makes sort of a citadel with the capstone. Hello, Sleepbrick. Sorry for the, I know YouTube streaming is not the most popular option, but I really just hate Twitch. So, I guess it is what it is. Yeah, so the question for Archie is, do you continue the plan? Do you play c1? Do you kind of do nothing? d2 essentially does nothing. And White's threat is a lot more dangerous than yours. You can bail out and move your capstone if you really want to. But it's probably better to try to blockade on e1, maybe? Let's see if I can get an analysis going. Move order doesn't really matter. So this is our position by transposition. If we look at something like E1, F1 wall here, this is pretty blockadable. You can't really break through here. Note the capstone is actually 1 square away from being able to threaten that, but I guess the problem is that you're too slow this way. There's also threats on E2 at some point, but white can harass you quite a bit. But even this might be playable. White's central control is kind of a problem. Obviously you can bail out, but it's not usually very good. More likely here, probably. Does white answer this? This exact line is not quite right. But white could always cut this if they need to. Not ideal, though. Not positive. Computer? E1 indeed best. Okay. Played. They're continuing the line. Yeah, so here, as white, you can take on E1, sort of force a counter capture immediately. Obviously, there's no other play but to take on E2. It is forced. Because this is a fork kind of position, but Archie volunteers the capture on E2 anyway. Only other option really is to take on F1. These are always difficult to tell which capture is better. Taking on F1 looks maybe a little more natural, but when it doesn't come with tech, it's a bit tough, right? Oh, what is happening? Oh, we're in the wrong line. Okay. He played the E1 line. So after here, did he play plus or oh, he played right? Yeah, so here is playable, but after this tactical shot is kind of a problem. Obviously, you're pinned. This is like one of the classic tactics. Black's probably in some trouble. So capturing this way is maybe advisable. Not sure that you want to wall. Black's capstone's a pretty serious problem in this position. Yeah, D2 puts pressure. And it's not as committal as a wall, so it's pretty reasonable. Obviously, if Archie continues, there are a number of problems. Even this move. Is probably a threat, and notably this doesn't work because of the capstone position. So you have to do something like this, and you can't quite go as far as playing this, right? Because it is tack and it's kind of annoying. I mean, maybe you can run down, but it seems kind of pointless. So this is probably the point at which you finally wall. And these pieces are pretty darn corralled. This position looks kind of hopeless for black. Indeed. You know, when the best move is to make one of these whack spreads that you're in trouble. So this line does not feel particularly good, which means black has to be very accurate here. After here, you really have not many more options, I guess. You can capture down, but it looks like you die pretty comfortably. Yeah, so Archie ups to wall. This is reasonable, given how bad the flat lines worked. We can still capture on E2, but it's not very exploitable. Boris in the chat talking about C4 over capstone over looked kind of reasonable to me as well. This wall is good, but the part of the difficulty is that it's hard to move because you're about to be pinned due to the horizontal, unless white commits C4 right anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure if wall right loses by force here. Dun, dun, dun. Here, 11 SD3, indeed. B3 C1, F1 over. So obviously this is not so pleasant, but maybe can hold. Wall is well placed. Capstone is not. But at least white's having a hard time getting anywhere. The weakness on D2 is not extremely easy to use, and the weakness on E3 is pretty well protected. Black's capstone is pretty good. This may be playable. Well, it isn't. Interesting. B5. I guess, okay, I guess you're just going to get slaughtered on the top side of the board. Fair enough, that's kind of a long-term plan. But what else? I mean, here, as Boris said, you kind of can just get crushed. You're not actually pinned here. And after this, you're running into Tinues. Maybe not quite by force. Oh, this is nice. Look at this. You have to answer down here. Either captures, which is terrible, or this. And then brutal. C2 over. So this does make tax, so it does force a counter capture. I think white is too broke up about having to capture, though. Now the question is, after e3 minus, what do you do? Because you're in tack, you either continue the stack war, or you counter wall. Wall e3 probably feels better. If I only had 1 second to make a move, that's probably what I would do. White can ostensibly run away, but maybe there's some compensation. It kind of sucks because Walls are just getting pinned all the time. This capstone is trying to decide how to say it without breaking content guidelines. Hmm. But in a human game, there's practical issues. I mean, okay, Boris is saying smash, but like, are we actually smashing? I mean, what are you playing in this position? I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying, what are you playing? If you're here, 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 Black kind of gets what they want, yeah? And what if you're going back, then why did you smash in the first place? So no, white is the option if they want to capture or do nothing. Hmm. They choose to capture. I kind of feel like this is correct because, okay, you activate the walls, but the walls are already like semi-pinned as we established, so activating them is not really a big deal. I mean, it's probably d3 minus d3 c4 right. Right. Here, here, here. White is eyeing c5. The horizontal on the top is strong. Black's position is kind of bad, but Black is almost getting something. You know, it's funny if you play something like this, there's this um, to look at. Obviously, White can pin you, but then you're getting e2, so White is not just a complete freebie. Yeah, d3 minus. I think it's important to be in time for this because, for instance, you do something else and White can actually pin you. I guess it kind of just switches the move order. Maybe it's still okay. But then there's moves like this is e2 and can't smash. Whereas the pin is not established yet. So I think d3 minus is advisable. e3 instead. Okay, I mean a3 instead doesn't. It says I'm gonna take d3, and I want you to take d3 so I can play this. That's annoying because dual threat of crushing d2 and making a road. Um, this crush is not like immediately losing, but the problem is Black gets so little out of it. This two stack is kind of terrible. So I don't think you want to allow that. And this move doesn't work because of the attack. So I don't really want to fill that in. I mean, you can do this, but it's so passive. Passive is not. If you had anything else going for you on the board, maybe you could get away with it, but it's probably just this one. And then White has to choose what they want to do. If you're white, you could already prep this. It is possible. Not sure if it's best. Obviously, black doesn't want to play this. This kind of makes them hopelessly disorganized. D3 comes, sorry, D5 comes and this threatens C5 capstone throw, and if you don't, and then there's here, and there's double threats, and yeah, it just looks horrible. So after here, you probably have to play something like this, or, I mean, I guess you can play this, but kind of don't love either move, really. Here you can at least claim your target E1, but winning E1's kind of... This is not a particularly important black reserve to win back, so... It's not much. He plays on the top instead. This was my first instinct before I started trying to get more tactical. I don't... Right. D5B1, so white here is now pretty tempting. You make attack threat, you force this somewhat bad stack move. God, there's almost moves like this. They like kind of don't really work. But the point is to attack E2. Don't really work, but they're kind of a little more working than you might think. So E2 seems advisable if you ignore. Black gets this. You could claim that this is actually fine. But now what? If here are you walling? Is this good enough? Maybe. Can't do this. You are still pinned. Well, you could play some funny move like this. You can also attack directly, say, whatever white, if you want to waste a move, you can do it. Not really convinced myself, though, that that's a wasted move. A little tough, so maybe you can just allow E2. Yeah, I mean, the only question here is if you play E2 or if you ignore it. Computer says E2. But SB2. SB2, huh? SB2 says I never want to lose to a road. The question is White's attack on the top so strong that they can get away with this? I mean, probably, but how does Black try to combat this? It seems that D3 is the most important square on the board. If White does something, you're at least like kind of arriving in time. You have the drawbridge threat. So what is the answer? If you make this trade, actually I don't even know if you leave one behind or not. Probably because the capstone ends up being pinned. And you're desperate for pieces. Not sure. Okay, SB2E2. I don't know that you wanted to do this, though, as black, because it feels like your threat is not breaking through, and you're just giving white more moves. Because SB2E2, B1 minus B2 was played, yeah. Yeah. So like let's give black some free moves. One, two. First of all, there's here. If you play this exact sequence. And if you don't, there's here. If you play this, there's here at the very least. Like black is not breaking through on the bottom. At least without crushing D2. And you're not very close to doing that. 20 C4. Let's see if that assessment is correct. Oh my gosh, after the wall, black is better. Man, that's computer. That's human tech for you. Turns out humans make mistakes. But yes, the move is D3, as I pointed out, because you never get anywhere on the horizontal. And I calculated the PV, not because I'm brilliant, but because it's extremely forcing. But this position is not incredibly easy to evaluate. If you're here, like, is this still good for black? It's like kinda, yeah, whatever. Obviously, the stack is not ill positioned, but um, hmm. The amount of pieces on D5 means that the crush is not good. So like, actually, this is starting to be a problem. And white probably never wants to wall on C5. It's pretty desperate. However, in the game, we got a wasted move on B2. B2 C4. B2 C4. And now probably white. Yeah. It's not as crushing as it was a few moves ago. The wall apparently was quite bad, I would guess. But I don't think you wanted to let white get a free tempo. C4, D6, C6, B2 plus. So a little bit of profit on B3 for white, I suppose, but it doesn't immediately amount to anything. The cut is successfully tempo winning, so like if we go back to this line, black has stolen their tempo back. An interesting point. This E1 stack could threaten roads in some position. Obviously not here, but just pointing that out. Yeah. So yeah, I'm guessing we're going to continue down this line. I do wonder if white wanted to prophylactically play D3, actually. to not allow this position to arise. No, it looks like it wants to play on the top. I guess if you play d3 instead, what's happening? Maybe white just gets, or maybe black just starts to lock up the top a little bit. Maybe you need to continue to play energetically. Se6, a move that makes me want to throw up. B4 Se6. A4. So now we've given the tempo back to white for no reason. E6 minus. Okay, we're gonna counterfill E6, obviously. And now white is completely winning. SD3, what? Why are we trading walls? What are the... SD3? Can you even afford this? Okay, now black gets E6 and SE5. There's some annoyance with E1, but how is white ever breaking through now? Wait a second. Yeah, this move is terrible, right? No, apparently not. I mean, it's not necessary, but... Oh, maybe the plan is some self-crush on D3 or something that makes it tolerable, but like... Okay, you have to play B6. I mean, no human plays B6. B5. What's the point of A2? Ah, D3 is claiming that I'm going to take on D2 when you eventually have to move. Ah, okay. But is that really necessary? Also, we're really just going to allow white to connect, huh? So you either have to take on E1 or you don't, as they say. This move does stop it. I'm trying to calibrate how bad it is. Maybe not the worst. You don't love having to take on E1 here. If indeed you do. And this move, yeah, no. Opts for 2d4 over, interesting. Yeah, I may have done the same. Taking E1 really doesn't feel great. Yeah. Oh yeah, 2d4 over is what I meant. D4 F1. Okay, so black is going to try to get some stally in game. After here, the e3 wall actually starts to play in the game. Maybe there are still some problems with this self-crush in some lines. But white does have to figure out what to do, I think. I don't... One, white, black, white, black, white. Parity is good for white, actually. Right now, so if they just flat out, then sure, but C2 is capturable. But I guess as soon as you capture... I guess as soon as you capture on C2, you get counter captured on D3? Hmm. It's not a cakewalk, that's for sure. What's the actual line? D4 27F1. Okay, that's on the board. F4 E3 plus. Right, okay, it's fine. A5. Don't really have Tenuate threats ever. But given a little more gas, you might at least get a attack threat. You can imagine whatever. If black does nothing. I mean, okay, I guess black can't truly do nothing. So maybe it's moot. I was gonna say, you know, like somehow this is a problem. Again, asking black to capture on E1, pretty please. But it doesn't quite seem necessary. Seems like the onus is 29A5. Seems like the onus is on black to figure out what to do. Now, for black's part, if they take B2, actually, then this will be pinned. How shallow is that pin? Pretty shallow. No, actually, because you can't do that move. Okay. There's actually starting to be some tactics here. And now white can no longer play. It's actually the parity's been flipped. And black has profited. So it went from a white win to a black win. That makes me think B2 was pretty darn good here. Oh, it's no, it just wants E3. Okay, E3 and try to throw the board into chaos. Oh, now it's so bad that we have to start doing crazy, crazy things. Okay. So Topaz doesn't believe that there is anything here. I mean, I thought the B2, I mean, unless it fails for, I guess, but then here, the pin's back on. I mean, I feel like this is more challenging for white at least, unless I'm missing something. There is here, but now we have something to hunt. Our capstone's pretty fat, but it can probably still hunt this down. The white's connection is broken. God, it's so hard to profit though. Yeah, you can't even really move. Maybe this is the point. But okay, make white find that, at least. That's what I think. Yeah, okay. So white played a6 or something, yeah. Pluto is calculating. Now, one bad thing, I guess, for white is they really can't take b2 themselves, because then you allow this. Well, although maybe you just take it. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, you're pinned horizontally, but you can do this. But then you get this back, and then you do this, and then you do that, and then... And white probably wins this because of reserves and also the position. Although, if you play this way, there's still some life, I guess. F3. So you don't have this pin yet, so you can't capture. So instead we play what? We play this. Okay. And what does this accomplish? Nothing, I guess? Oh, duh. Tech threat B1. This is where it's hard when you're jumping around lines. Okay. So this is a cute little tech threat. You can't just play this, though. But then, okay, black gets a free move. Do we care? Not really. Yeah, I'm not convinced. There's here. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think. But white played 2c3 over, which is 2c3 over. I mean, okay, one more move. You get a tech threat, but you take your eye off the wall a little bit. Not to be confused with taking your eye off the ball. White is pressuring b4 c3. But this is a minus move, so like, I guess white is still winning. Oh yeah. I was taking on a. I sort of forgot b3 belonged to black originally. I thought this was actually a concession, but it's not. Okay. Yeah, so 4. Yeah, so this, we don't want to leave. We don't want to leave this behind. So we take the whole stack with us. Boris pointing out that black has potential board fill scenarios with this wall stack, and notably something like this if the other two squares were filled. Instead, we get white c4, and Archie immediately kind of cashes out. 5c2 plus 1-4. 5c2. Okay, so he left the black stone here and then put a weak stone here and then grabbed this. Um, um, but why not just play this? I mean, here, I guess, but you can't really. Can you keep running? Maybe you can technically keep running because the stack is too fat. Although, ironically, in this exact position, no, it's not tech. White still can't reach. We'll have to look at this after the game. Okay, we get weird stack move. D2? Come on, word stack move, reappear on the board. Where are you? D2? Again, black can't place. And... Or is that false? No, that's correct. So white has to do something. Or sorry, black. So here, I guess. Okay, actually, now that white is filled. Does make it worse to try to hunt down the stack, I guess. You can kind of try to do this, but if black really wants to, they can do this. It's probably not. Well, maybe. It's kind of odd. Maybe still playable. Huh. Yeah, it takes a lot of moves to execute that maneuver. Oh. Now instead we... Well, why would we do this? 2e4 over. e4, 2c4 minus. Yeah, I mean, I think you can just... Well, can you smash it? There's some funny move like this, huh? Ah, this. Oops. Yeah, this has gotta lose, yeah. I don't... Yeah, you can't do that either. You can't... Well, you can crush. It's not... Oh, wait, no, you can't. It is illegal. Hmm. Indeed, crush B2. Okay, so it's my line. But yeah, after this... Here... Unless Archie sees something really good. Like, isn't this just what white wants to do anyway? There are 3 pieces on this square, but you can't crush it anyway. Which chooses an even more aggressive option to target, well, aggressive, like long-term flat aggression. Right. Double stack over here. SC1, game over. SC1, E3. You probably have to take... Oh, it's tech. It's tech. Let's take care of them. Even worse. And C3. And there's only one good move, one good plus move on the board, and it's not even enough. So Archie has lost. Okay, Pluto doesn't know the count. Fair enough. He doesn't have the numbers floating in his face, so instead he captures in a way that he can't possibly lose ground. But then there's here. What is the easiest way? That's not terrible, I guess. After here, there's here. And black runs out of gas. And can you crush this though? No, one flat. Black can't do anything. Okay, so instead he after this move he just checked the count and then realized he was winning, and then placed the extra flat. Yeah. Okie doke. Um. Okay, let's check that endgame quickly. If black plays a normal move, I mean, what about this one? Do you get hunted down? White doesn't have to bother with it right away. Just E3. And you're kind of compelled to play this, huh? D3 minus. Ay, ay, ay. Collapsing down the middle. Ay, 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 yeah. Collapsing down the middle. It's easy to sometimes forget that your opponents can just move their walls out of the way sometimes. Ay, ay, ay. So what do you even do? 6 C4 plus 4 2. Okay, yeah. No human ever plays that. Oops, it's this one. You're setting up some profitable throw. It is defended by a wall. I mean, maybe it's not completely out of the question, but well, yeah. So endgame is basically lost. There's a little bit of song and dance, but yeah. Game was lost after SE6. Yep. I thought my first knee-jerk reaction is SD3 also like loses a lot, but I guess the point is that it's fine because black can never get away with not doing some capture here, and then the wall's immediately okay. Like even even in some universe where it's crushable, it's not even like profitable to crush because the wall's stack is pretty small and sad. So yeah. Interesting stuff. MVP wall in this position. Otherwise, you're literally instantly dead. Let's go back to the game. So computer thought it was kind of like busted here already. Kinda, yeah. It is tough because the capstone's kind of out of play. Maybe D2 is too slow? But white responded by also playing slowly. Oh, I don't have the exact opening here, actually. Wait a second. Never mind. Disregard. Let me pull up the actual playtech game. I forgot I took some liberties with the opening moves just to get them on the board. No, okay, never mind. That is a real move. No, no, no. It's okay, never mind. It's CD3, then D2, then E2, so it's slightly different. Okay, slightly different. Um, This is tough. This might already be trouble for black. Ah, not much. Okay, so Topaz argues that you're in time, you can force the black stack over and then start to engage with the bottom race. And basically if here, oops, it's black's move. So whatever, black plays b1. Basically here, and the capstone is not really doing its job. If white ignores, you have to deal with this. Actually, taking back, maybe not necessary, maybe it is necessary. Not clear to me. E2. Let me turn on multi-PV. So best move E2. Second best move D1. Third best move 3 E4 over. Okay, so you actually do not want to engage in C2 over. Sometimes hard to tell. I mean, is white actually going to wall you? Is that the point? Or is the point... Yeah, maybe the point is that the white will, like... I guess they can't ignore you for a move. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe the... But, like, this looks playable. Yeah. So what is actually the problem with this move? Well, okay. Topaz thinks a little harder, and she's sort of not fully convinced. SD1, 3, 4 over. Well, 3, 4 over every time, huh? Are we actually claiming we're gonna crush that wall in some lines? Maybe in some lines. Yeah, like E6, E2, SC2? Wow. That's a crazy position. Like, this is what bots come up with. White has 2 walls, and black has none, and the position is even. That's how strong the attack on the top is, according to the computer. I mean, it is true. You've got comp from Black's Capstone being kind of too heavy and also terrible as well. And actually, the walls are very strong. Like, these 2 walls are killing both east and west. Or, sorry, duh. Every east and west is the same. But I mean, killing both east, west, and north, south, right? Black struggles. Well, I mean, if you take F1, I guess you're just eventually taking the weak stack. Apparently it runs away in some line, whatever. Huh. I don't know. It's complicated. So C1 recommended, D2. And kind of the problem with this is that you don't have time to backfill D3 anyway. I don't remember if we already looked at this move with the computer. I think we did. E1, C4 over, both kind of similar. Mhm. Okay, actually not that similar. Yeah, to me, I mean, C4 over is natural, right? It's intending to meet this with this. Actually, there are a lot of tech positions, a lot of tech openings that kind of reach at positions that look like this, where obviously it's more common actually in like very old school tech, um, where one side would have like this stick that was pretty efficiently severed by capstone. I mean, you reach kind of a similar position out of the I forget which side it is. I think it's this. Oops. Whatever. If you reach a position of symmetry and then white plays this, you could do something like this. I think this is the wrong way. Maybe you want to block on e4 actually. Should be this. But whatever. And white plays a move. They can play this. Then here, but here the capstone is cutting off the center. It's a little weak, but it's actually quite well placed, and the center threat is kind of slow, and white is like relying on other threats. Maybe calling them similar is pushing it. So the second game will be starting shortly. I wonder if f1 minus is terrible. Indeed. Yeah, you have to bail out and start going this way anyway. In which case, the question is, why did you make that move? I guess in practice, white doesn't complete the stick formation. Oh, I'm wrong. They actually do. Topaz plays pretty concretely sometimes. Just like take the free move. I mean, I guess it is hard to argue that the black capstone is quote unquote better placed on e4 than it was on d4. On d4, it at least vaguely contributes to this vertical. Yeah, tough to complete this maneuver because it's definitely not new style attack. So I think what Archie did was pretty reasonable. Okay, new game, adjacent corners. Knight's move. So, a quick point that Pluto plays the white plays the black stone, and then black plays the white stone, which everybody knows. But it means that that it was Pluto that voluntarily entered adjacent corners. And then after the knight's move, he's gone into the tank, which is a little surprising if you're going to put the opponent in adjacent corners. I mean, adjacent isn't that much different from opposite corners. You can kind of just pretend you're playing the same stuff as usual. It's not perfect, but it's something. Something. E4. Okay, so we may get something resembling the center game, except where black is sort of across from their normal side. So by that I mean if black continues and we get a line. This is the same position I just looked at when I was clicking through briefly, except black has a stone on A1 instead of a stone on A6. Is this relevant? Probably not really. So we'll see if they choose to enter that or not. Let's get rid of this so I don't confuse myself anymore. Black plays C3. White F3 continuing. Connecting to the edge, making the standard Willem Knight formation. So if you're black, what exactly do you try to do? Maybe the most obvious move is here. If white accepts the capstone position, you can play something like this. And after here, there is here. You can accept this, but I don't think I would. This looks pretty bad. So that means this also looks pretty bad. So if you think maybe this white capstone position is not so good, in which case the black capstone position maybe is good. D4, CD4 indeed. F4, F5. So F4, F5 is fine. Like this exchange maybe in some lines can benefit one side or the other, but Archie has not really committed to anything yet. There are some things have been tried here, like CE5. I think they don't really work. um, in modern thinking. Because basically white's initiative down the right side is just not quite enough. So white instead plays 6e5, not ce5. This is obviously much less committal. Obviously the downside of having a capstone is that there are certain moves, for instance, after here and here, there are some moves where this is no longer a capstone, so you just take, although in this exact position, white can backfill, and this is probably more than enough, but it's complicated. Here, black is lost. Or are they? Is this actually still not enough? That's crazy. I was just realizing it. Black is still not enough. I played a position like this against Alien in one of our most recent games. It wasn't exactly like this, but it was vaguely like this. And yeah, I also lost. I think it was a little better for me than this exact position because I had some hope of getting out with the wall stack. But yeah. Anyway, C4. C4 F2. Getting F2 in is that's something. It's something. It's going fast. F2, B3, E5 over. B3, right? Yeah. B3, E5 over. Well, this is obviously played against. If you play this, there's this, and this is. Maybe this move is playable, but these moves probably not. Although, again, you're cutting down the center if you accept this, but I guess it's not enough because the capsule's not really out of the game. It's actually just fine, right? So in this exact line, the kind of capstone gel doesn't really work. So anyway, Archie dodges this by playing the immediate this e5 over, sf6 cf5, right? So Archie is going kind of all in. It generally doesn't work, but it's up to black to prove to you why it doesn't work. So one move is here, and if white does nothing, you're just doing this, and you're probably, well, maybe you're counterwalling. Probably just okay with this. So if this is not acceptable, then here, after wall, here, wall, you're kind of just stopped, right? We even have the capstone guarding e4 if necessary. Now, interestingly, computer's not completely, I mean, okay, 46% is it's a real black advantage, but it's not saying white is completely lost. The other option is if you wall here, kind of just give white black a free move, or white a free move. Yes, this is the third option, is to play e4 right. And in this position, is it supposed to be this move? Because after here, I mean, I guess you're just getting walled again. But now, it's coming at a lot of walls. Also, there's this, which can come with threats at some time. Okay, this is marginally worse. for black than the. I mean, it's better for black, but I mean, it's marginally worse than the other line we looked at. But that obviously black doesn't have to play e4 if they don't want to. They can play sc4, but it doesn't change anything, huh? And obviously this is illegal, and I mean, this is um not a move. Uh, maybe not. Maybe it's not as much not a move as I. This pins the wall though. Here, here. Yeah, would only slightly better, despite the ridiculousness of the line. But instead, we got e4 over. We got 11. No, not 11 e5 over. What is happening? Oh, we didn't make this exchange. That's what happened. E4 over. E4 over. In 9. Okay, 9 e4 over. And then, so now, I mean, there's still e6 if you wanted it, but Archie chooses this, which probably just worse. I see 2. E1 is attempting to pin the wall in some lines, but don't think you're going to get enough free moves. D4 minus is curious. Kind of necessary, huh? After this move? No, but after this move... okay, okay. Okay, I see it, Captain. After here, if black passes, there's the move in the game, and then if here... no, no, no. Never mind, you just get this. Even here, right? Maybe what is... I mean, but this move isn't good. Okay, but... 2f5 minus e2 over b4 s... What? b4? What has happened? d4 minus 2f4, it got too spicy. E2 over b4 sc4. Wait, b4 is already on the board. Oh no. I gave black b4 instead of... Oh, what? I don't know what happened. Okay, whatever the heck happened, we have this position where white looks completely busted. Problem is, now the game has been reduced to a race of white's horizontal against black's vertical, and you can see white's horizontal is a long way away from happening, and black's vertical is not really. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it's only one move. But white has not really proven their edge, and the black formation in some ways is stronger. If black just quote-unquote does nothing, maybe you can use some of this craziness to get out of jail, though. Like, is this playable? I mean, it can't be objectively good, but it's not, like, completely lost. I mean, black needs to play c2, strong shape. Or d3, the more obvious move, is also fine. Okay, so maybe there's a little something here. Boris was apparently complaining about b4 is supposed to be get out of here time or something. But actually, like, how do you play it? Ah, that's actually a good point. Look, after white plays e2 first, and now after this, the weakness is not right in front of black's cap. Whereas if you don't exchange the trade, then this, right? That's a good point. Oh, I'm in the weeds now. 17a5, b2. sc6 resigns the game. Like, I get the point. I get the point of sc6, right? The point is that you're losing the race, so you're gonna wall, right? But that's not how you play tech anymore. The point is, if you're losing the race, you make this capture and you make black give you something first, and then you try to figure out how you're going to wall. Now SB4, and now you actually have a concrete weakness. If you wall first, now as in the game after a2, what are you doing? You're playing here and then here and then here and then here. Your wall is actually terrible. It's in your own way. Yeah. Can't play like this. Or if you play this, like, well, why did you make a wall in the first place? Because actually black's just gonna wall you. We get this line instead. So like instead of a wall on c6, don't you wish you had a flat on d5 now? Would force black to actually have to do something. Instead of just playing sb6, or even the position might be so bad that black can play b4 directly. But I mean, it's plus a million. Oops, I killed the bot. Yeah, I mean, this is not best, but it's fine. The point is you fight some stack war, and then you come out in top. But the move order makes a huge difference. In tack, being able to capture with tack is a huge deal because you force black to actually have to do something. And if black commits some weakness like this, I mean, you can play slow. If black plays like this, now you kind of get this mega wall, or you get this mega stack war. And I mean, you do have this if you, I mean, probably really can't play it, but can't get there that way, huh? Maybe it's this, huh? Like, is this playable? Yeah, well, no, okay, but I mean, it's 69%. That's pretty nice to me. Um, but at least you even if it's objectively lost to a computer, like you got something going, right? Like you can see the plan. But now your disappointment is immeasurable, and your day is ruined. So after here, and GG. Your only hope is that Obi-Wan Kenobi comes. No, your only hope is that somehow you manage some like crazy crush, I guess. But seems tough. Seems tough. I mean, your options are kind of limited to this, which just looks quite bad. I mean, you can do tricks like this sometimes, like you're arguing that the B4 wall is bad. But like, is it? If you're here, it's decidedly not bad. And if you jail it, then you're never getting anything going in the vertical direction, and you're just gonna try to flat this out. But white still has plus moves. The A5 wall or the A5 piece becomes a huge liability now because it can't even get out of danger. Just free profit. So I don't think you can do this, and this obviously this trade is terrible. So for lack of anything else to do, white just plays. Oops. White plays d5. We take the wall and we crush. Okay. And what is the crush? 1 1 1 1 1. Okay. Oops. 1 1 1 1. So black has immediately forcing moves here. This kind of move is not good. If you're not forced to play, the capstone is bad here, right? So obviously, oops, whoa, whoa, whoa. So obviously look at something like this, and then here, and this wall's become very good now. What was once a passive wall is now quite a good piece. Okay, so we're following the line, d4. But there's just really not anything else you can do. I guess you can do that one instead. But after this, you're in attack again. And if you're here, the position, yeah. So I guess it's this one. Now, brutally, this is even attack 2 because the e4 wall is threatening to be crushed right now. And white does not have a good answer for that. Yeah, the collapse is going to be swift. But, I mean, from Archie's point of view, this is still more practical than kind of just not crushing on b5 and playing a bunch of flats idly, right? You just you can never win in that position. You got to try to make something happen. Hope that Pluto messes up. It's just hard to do from this position. f5, I mean, f5 is like kind of the same as e6. This is a true staircase, horizontal and vertical, I think. Well, okay, this way, I guess, if you throw all the way, then all of a sudden this wall comes alive. Yeah, yeah. This is mega busted. Here, it's attack threat. You don't even have to do anything as black. You're still threatening e6 and f4. Or both threats, and white can't fill both of them. Yeah, okay, so white's walling and, yeah. I mean, you probably just fill the citadel, right? Make the wall kind of bad. Now you need this and, oops, whatever, and this in conjunction. Black chooses to do it in this move order, I guess. But after this, we can do this at least. You don't have to move the wall. Very small difference. Now it will all be a matter of technique. But Pluto has managed very well to turn this into one of the most winning positions possible, and white has almost nothing to even do in the game, so it's very hard. D2 is starting to maybe hint at this kind of formation. D3, tough thing is you can never like take, because all of a sudden you just make the black capstone good. I mean, yeah, sure, it's heavy, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't really need to move around. It never needs to crush any walls, right? Black already controls almost every piece on the board. There's no black weaknesses to capture besides right here, so who cares if your capstone can't move? And the other thing, capstones being fat means that they can't stop threats, but white is never going to get a threat for the rest of the game, so that doesn't matter either. So d3 is perfectly fine to play. b4, d1. I'm trying to imagine how white gets a threat. Maybe like here and here. I mean, if white answers like this, it's still not Tinui. Because after here, the cap can come up. And your lack of control of the F file hurts you. Yeah. Yeah, but white's going for it. What else? Black fills F6 just to make sure that white can never fill F6. Yeah, because if you imagine, if we give white one more move, if black plays a soft move, and then this, and then this, and now after here, black actually has to do something. Because after here, wait, never mind. You have two walls. Just kidding. Just kidding. Black can just do anything. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can maybe even do this, although I'm not sure I would advise it. You can maybe do this. E3 over is chosen. This is certainly the safest looking option, right? The capstone, no matter how mighty it is not going to smash the other capstone. So this is ultimate safety. The other purpose is if ever this, you have responses, right? That cut. I mean, I guess there's like, but white just doesn't have any pieces on the board. Also, if here, I mean, white probably just peters out. So white continues to go for the most offensive option, 4d5 over. This is tack to crush the wall, but it is not tack in the other direction. Now, interestingly, if the white wall were not here, it actually would be tack in both directions. Although it would still not be Tinue because of b6 minus. But as it stands, after here, kind of, okay. It's some this though. The problem is, You can't do any tricks because black can just step in your way with the capstone as soon as you vacate c3. But I mean, Archie's pretty good at finding tricks, so like, if you're gonna give anyone this hopeless position and tell them you have to win, Archie will do his best. I wonder if there's any line in which you leave this stack bigger. With some plan to do this. Again, it still doesn't work because you're not connected on that side. Ups for the more, no, wait. Ups for 5 c5. Okay, so I was wrong on both accounts. 5 c5. And wait, just cuts on f2. I mean, what is to try to establish some trick like this? Although, I wonder if that even works. I guess it does, because you have this move, and then you get an next. Wait, but do you switch the move order? No, it doesn't work, because that's still connected. Okay, so I guess that's the plan. I think you wanted a6 and not c1. But I guess you're getting a6 anyway. So black is coming for the road if here, oops. No, stop analyzing. If you're here, you're forced to relinquish your hard cap. Okay, but at least now you have a lot of pieces. It's starting to look not as terrible. If that happens. I can alternatively go this way and try to cut this way. Maybe this is safer. Well, either way, they're starting to get low on time, so we're going to see some moves coming in eventually. And by that I mean some rapid moves. Still not a6, huh? We don't believe. I mean, if I'm Pluto, I'm taking a6 because Archie keeps refusing to take it. I mean, I guess there's some horizontal, but I mean, who cares? Oh no, There is eye care, huh? Horizontal and vertical. So you're kind of compelled to go and take again. No, it's no longer attacking either direction. Is that accurate? Correct, but black has got to find some moves. I mean, what about just this, though? Yeah, okay, never mind. This just... Sometimes you forget about the obvious moves when you're digging so many branches deep and so forth. It's what I said before, black cannot, white can't ever vacate c3 because you just lose it. And now you're just stuck on the wrong side of the big stack. The stack on c4 cannot do anything. The best that the white capstone can do is crush e2, which is just not enough. It's only 2 white pieces. Okay, Pluto's in the tank on this move, 34 d, no, 33 d5. Wait, what? Did I make some exchange that wasn't supposed to be in the game? I mean, I know this is intended to be annoying so that people don't cheat, but somehow my counting feels wrong. Okay, so we got some crush back. So this is kind of what I was suggesting at some point. Cancel, cancel. And I guess you have the option of just trying to block a6 and like flat out, or you try to do this. Both look pretty good. This one, on the other hand, the hell is e4 right? Sorry, e4 left. I mean, it's fine. It's targeting d5 and d6. Just seems a bit unnecessary. I guess this is the point. Now a6. And then now you're going to do this. But you can't really do that, huh? Yeah. So like this, you can't even do that in the first place. It's pinned, so like why do we put the wall there? Okay. I mean, I guess the point is just to put a wall in front of white's capstone and restrict its mobility at any cost, huh? Fair enough. SE3, sure. The truly unfortunate part is that this game is going to go on for at least 6 more moves, huh? 6 more moves of pain for Archie. Let's play a fun game of guess how high the eval is. I accidentally cheated a little bit. I saw plus 400 recently. It's probably got to be more than that now. Although we did move our wall into d4, so maybe it's only still 400. Yeah, approaching 500. Oh, obviously the longer you think, the worse it is, right? Because you can see deeper into the future, and you can see black's flat win getting closer and closer. So if you had 509, you win the pool. A6. Throws over. Okay, fair. Don't want this and this to be connected. So in some insane future, I guess you could maybe crush on d3. Get some sort of Tinue going. It's actually like weirdly close to Tinue because white has almost no presence on the side of the board. But obviously you can't do it right now because you're pinned, in addition to it not working anyway. B1, F2. I mean, if you're white, you're taking A4, right? You make the citadel. And you try to set up something in this direction. Maybe you have so many white pieces, you can try to like set up a perpetual or something. Okay, A3. Kind of think this is worse than A4, but maybe it doesn't matter. Well, unfortunately, we'll never get A4 now. But maybe that's not so unfortunate after all, huh? That is not nearly enough pieces to reach on both of them. Yeah, okay, so this threatens this way. But then what? Here? It's like kind of not quite there. Five C4 over, so that should be this move. 4 C3 over, leave one back. 5 B4 over, yep. Something tells me Pluto will not take this draw. Yeah, there's this way. I was looking at maybe this might be cleaner. But yeah, if you're white, you don't even really have attack threat anymore. Mhm. I even called the move that loses on the spot. uh, if I had 1 second, that is also what I would have played and lost to the road. Guess if you two have 2 seconds, you play this and just suffer. Or just this and suffer. I mean, this actually makes more sense. Anyway, very merciful to lose a few turns early. Yeah, so what happened in this game? So, White played a very all-in opening. Feels like maybe it should be e6 instead of, Okay, if White's best move is e4, that's super sad. Oh no, it's White e4. Yeah, White e4, d4 over. And White, you're just going to try to backfill and claim that you have some actual presence on d5. I mean, it's sad. I guess it's kind of incredible that this is only slightly better for Black, huh? Probably an important motif to remember in case you get into these kinds of positions. Because you can't ever play this, really. Can you? Ready for SC5. Here. Now you can't take this way, obviously. If you take this way, you're a little isolated. I guess White switches to the top, or maybe with Black having b3, it's really hard to like make some kept to c3 work. So maybe it's like b5 or some crap. Yeah, b5. b5, c5, and then you start playing on the top, and you accept that you're slightly worse. Very tough to do though. I was looking at this one. SE4 is very funny because it's completely unnecessary because you could just as well play this if you believe if you believe the capstone's gonna come, but okay. Oh no, you can't because of this move. Yeah, that was my whole point actually. I forgot what my point was while I was playing the move. Although if you're here, you can steal the stack and oops. But then you harass. Oh, ay 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 ay! Look at that! Now look who's got a big stack and is probably still worse. No? Okay. I guess this stack is so big that you have compensation. Hard to see how the fight on the top side plays out though. Hmm. I guess if at any moment you have this move, which requires a response, either this or this, although this one looks kind of bad. So here, but then there's this. I guess it's not really a threat because White can never do this. Ah, no, they can. No, but what about this move? But what if you come back? But what about this? Here, here, crush. I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay, you can just take any four. That's fine. Anyway, you could do some stack nonsense, but anyway. These tactical, if your opponent plays correctly, you kind of like don't, it kind of doesn't work. Hard cap. This was cute. I wonder if it actually is the best move. No, just move the whole stack. Because you don't care if black wall's here because you're never going to break through anyway. That's your point. Actually kind of insane that white has managed to find a line. I mean, yeah, black has to play this computer move. Yeah, no human is playing, at least not in the current day and age. If you play the natural move, now all of a sudden, you're slightly worse after the natural move. That's crazy. So actually, Archie kind of had it, and then he, as the kids say, he cooked a little too hard. And then he got stuck in this hole. But I think this moment was instructive. Like it's easy to just look at the computer's evaluation of SC6 and say, okay, it's a terrible move, and indeed it is. But you have to. This I've never wanted to click that button. Okay. But you have to understand why it's a terrible move. It's a terrible move because if instead here and here, then you have this, you force some kind of capture, then you wall. Now now you're walling to try to profit instead of walling to try to just not die. The other option is if black plays this, now you get this, or maybe this one. It's a hard call. I mean, this is closer to your capstone stack, so I'm guessing it's c5 over. Yeah, and actually this is apparently not so bad according to the computer. c5 over, sc5. And the point is you're gonna... What the heck was the PV? I mean, eventually you're gonna have to play a wall. Topaz actually plays it on sa4 instead of c4, which is looks a little weird until you consider it's probably maybe designed it this kind of way. But okay. Anyway, point is you play some move, and then eventually, oh, well, I guess black fills c4. What if black just does this? Now is it sc4? Yeah, it is. Okay, whatever. sc4, d2. Anyway, the game goes on. Kind of. If you imagine, like, the simplifying of this position, like, let's say here. Oops, misclick. Whatever. Oh, I can't pretend to do that. Okay, the simplifying of this move, here, here, or even if you assume white gets a humbler move. Now at least, okay, your white or black completely locked off from the F file, and they're pretty locked off on the north-south. The game's become a lot drier. You have a hard cap, exerts a little bit of pressure. Like, okay, you're worse, but you're not, like, completely dead. And obviously in some lines, you manage to cover two pieces, in which case, you're actually basically even, huh? Okay. So I think that was the last instructive moment in the game, besides Archie playing for tricks, which was actually kind of entertaining because he does it quite well. But it's just so hard to pull off in this position. So yeah, I think that's the game. Let's quickly look at the computer, what the players had to say in the chat. Pluto says, surprised, slightly glad that I wasn't losing at some point in the endgame. No. Come on, Pluto. I know it's easier for me. I got the flat count in my face on every turn, but it's just too much. Like, yeah, Archie has a big stack, but, giggity. But that's all he has, right? He doesn't have a mortgage. He doesn't have um, a nice plot of land. He doesn't have, those are the same thing. Anyway, the joke isn't working, but the point is, the stack is his only asset, and it's not even particularly good. They're talking about 15. 15 3f5 minus. What? It's got to be not 15. It's got to be this move, I guess. Yeah, 3f5 minus. Yeah, is indeed better. But the way you played it, I think, wasn't completely sunk either. At least with Black's exact moves. But yeah, it's tricky. Boris was particularly unhappy about allowing this SE4, and I do also agree. You got to figure out how to get out of dodge. The Topaz's suggestion of make the exchange of E2 first, get one more concession, and then get out is it looks pretty nice. Because this stack is not even so weak. Like if you look at it, it's not directly next to this. If Black wants to take with their capstone, it's gonna take 1, 2 moves, and then they have to play a third move to actually throw with it. It's like it's playable. So anyway, I think that's it for me. Unlike the other players who analyze games, I chit chat a long time after the game. But yeah, I hope this was entertaining or useful. I'll take one or the other. And I'll see you next time.